It's Friday afternoon. It is a big day around here.
First
Game
Alert
day.
Weather Day?
Game
Oh,
day,
game
according
day.
to
Oh.
our Spartan alumna, Erin Bowling. It is also a First Alert Weather Day.
But that was yesterday for me. Central Michigan played yesterday.
Oh, see, mine's tomorrow. When
CMU
Michigan plays.
won, by the way,
Good for you guys.
66 to 10. How about that? Fire up chips.
Good job, Chippewas.
Yeah, we'll see if MSU can do that today. But yeah, it is a big weather day here too. I have had so many people stop me today, more so than most days, I would say, asking me what is the forecast for tonight. Because of the MSU game, high school football games, tailgating, Labor Day travel, a lot going on. And unfortunately, we are tracking what could be some potentially impactful weather that will be in place later on this afternoon into the evening. So that's why it's a First Alert Weather Day. Some of these storms that we see fire up today could be on the strong.
Fire up, I get it.
I know, every time I say it, I always think of that. Could be severe, so they could bring us some gusty winds, heavy rain. Lightning, of course, is the big one, especially for anyone over in East Lansing today. I believe tailgating is already underway. But
Yes,
I think
it started
at
about
2.
2 hours ago.
I thought it started at 2.
I thought it started at noon.
Great questions.
Either way, it's going on now.
Yep. Yeah, so if you're going to be over there, just keep an eye on the forecast. But this is the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. We saw this updated not too long ago. We'll get a new update here shortly. I don't suspect it's going to change too much. Marginal risk for severe weather in place for us. But if you do live over in Livingston County or Washtenaw County, Shiawassee County, Wayne County. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to throw all of them.
I was going to say, please don't do that.
But there is slight risk for severe weather over off to our north and east. So that's where there's a slightly higher risk of some severe weather today than what we're going to see here. But I think we're all still kind of under the same thing here. And what we're tracking is a cold front. So a cold front's going to sweep through here this afternoon. There's really not much going on currently. That is as expected. But within the next few hours, we'll likely start to see some storms bubble up, and those are the storms that could impact things in East Lansing. It could also impact, all these other things going on later on today. So we'll be keeping a close eye on it. It's a tricky forecast, I will say, overall, mainly because anytime that we're dealing with cloud cover already in the day, we need instability for these thunderstorms to form. So you typically would like to see more sunshine and slightly warmer temperatures than this, but the overall risk is still there for today. And if we do see any peaks at the sun, there has been some thinning of the clouds in spots today.
Kind of see a little bit of that Mason, Jackson.
Yeah. So if we see more sunshine, that'll allow our temperatures to bump up a bit more too. So we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the day today. Current conditions do show that we have warmed up nicely into the upper 80s, but look how warm it is over in Adrian, 89, 87 in Ann Arbor. Most of us are in the lower 80s. Honestly, at this point though, we're kind of underperforming in terms of our temperatures. I put a high of 87 in Lansing, so that is interesting because it's only 82 right now. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. If we don't achieve to those high temperatures, it may be good news for us, and maybe we won't get as many storms throughout the day today. So it's a tricky forecast overall. A lot of people are asking for specific times. It's hard to say because we're going to see these thunderstorms pop up. So when will it hit a certain location at a certain time? That's very hard to determine with this type of setup. But what I can show you is one of our computer models here, and it suggests that we may see storms begin to develop within the next couple of hours here and then continue to do so as we head into the evening. Now, this is just one computer model. I could show you many others that show maybe something slightly different. One model suggests that there will not be much of anything in mid-Michigan. So all of that is stuff that we'll have to watch out for, but I would suspect that probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll start to see some of these thunderstorms pop up, and then they'll continue to race on through the area.
And they look strong even though they're going to be quick.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So the good news is that they will be quick. So it's not going to, sit over an area and cause massive issues. But again, they could be severe. So gusty winds, large hail, those types of things. Not much of a tornado risk with any of these storms today. The cold front will clear the area later on this evening and into tonight. So probably by around sunset, maybe a little bit after that. A lot of this is kind of wrapping up already. One thing we'll keep an eye on late tonight is something that's kind of interesting. We may see another wave of moisture try to sneak in here by early Saturday morning. That's something that's new showing up in the models. So we may need to add in a slight chance of seeing some rain early in the day on Saturday. but I don't expect that to last all that long, and we'll see some sunshine take over heading into the afternoon. So my biggest piece of advice for you, if you are heading to East Lansing today, just make sure that you are paying attention to the forecast. This is a great day to have the News 10 First Alert Weather app. We'll be posting updates in there throughout the evening. You can also look at radar and get any push notifications too if we do have any watches or warnings that are issued. I'm keeping an eye on the Storm Prediction Center. There's no indication that a watch is coming anytime soon, so we'll be keeping an eye on this throughout the day. I do expect those storms probably around kickoff, but then they should be out of here later on in the evening. So the main time frame to watch out for storms, I would say probably 3 or 4, all the way up until around 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I think that's the best chance of seeing anything severe. So if you're going to be hitting the roads today, I think for the most part, if you're heading out after work today, off to our west, US 131, if you're taking that to go up north, you should be okay. I think the storms are out of there, but 127 here locally, there could be some scattered storms around this evening. I-75, same thing there too, especially once you get in the Saginaw area and point south. So we'll keep an eye on this. Hopefully it doesn't slow down things too much and complicate the travel. I know that traffic is going to be a nightmare, I would have to imagine, in the Lansing area today, just because of the football traffic as well as Labor Day traffic, and you have the construction projects that are ongoing as well. So a lot to keep in mind if you're going to be traveling. But here's a look at the Labor Day weekend. It's hard to believe that we have, I don't want to say not talked about Labor Day a lot, but it's just because we have so much weather to go on today. But what we'll really be seeing this weekend is tomorrow we'll see the decreasing clouds, especially in the afternoon. And then on Sunday, we see more sunshine, temperatures in the mid-70s. A cold front actually will come in on Sunday. That will probably bring us a few clouds, but no rain. And then on Monday, we see even cooler air come in, 70 degrees for the high temperature. So I think most of Labor Day is actually stuck in the 60s. But
I will take it.
The good news is that there's a lot of sunshine. So so that will be the good news. I see Casey asked about Waterford. What does it look like over that way?
That was part of the
It's in the slight risk.
Yes.
So you're part of a slightly higher risk of seeing some severe weather today over in Metro Detroit where Waterford is. So it's kind of same thing there, maybe a couple hours after we were talking. So maybe 6, 7, 8 o'clock over that way to see some stronger thunderstorms. Going to be pretty scattered, so you may not get anything.
But if you download the First Alert Weather app, Casey, you can actually set it to Waterford.
Right.
It's not just strictly to the Lansing and Jackson area, so that will help you out.
Correct, and you know, and you can watch radar in there and do all those things. So yeah, to download the News 10 First Alert Weather app, you do have a risk for severe weather just like we do, but just a couple hours later, I would suspect.
Yeah.
But back to our weather here about Labor Day and how it's going to be much cooler. Temperatures near 70. That's about 10 degrees below normal. And looking at the temperature trend over the next 10 days, today by far the warmest day. After that, we cool down heading into the holiday. There is some warmer air that comes in next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we cool down again for next weekend. So
that's still like right about the average though, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
So.
But you know, a lot of people are still trying to sneak in some of those summertime activities. I know we're getting into the month of September.
Halloween starts on Sunday.
Are you a September 1st type of person?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All the summer stuff comes down on Saturday.
I have a hot take. I have a very big hot take.
You started eating Halloween Oreos this week, so I don't want to hear it.
No, do I hear this? I am not the biggest fan, and people at home, I'm sure you don't care, but of Halloween. I'm not a Halloween person.
And that's going to end our show.
I know, it was a hot take.
Why? What does it do to you?
I don't like scary. I don't like scary movies, and I don't.
It doesn't have to be scary.
I do like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, see, there's like a whole genre of Halloween that is like fun and.
If you're.
Not just if you're a kid.
No,
No, there's like a whole genre of stuff that's just like about going trick-or-treating and all the fall time stuff.
I love fall though, so
okay.
You'll get me there. I love fall. I love it. I don't quite understand the hype about Halloween, but I know a lot of people like to have fun, so I don't. You
realize I watch like horror movies to go to sleep at night?
No.
And sometimes I laugh.
No, I'm not that way. I think it's because I had a bad experience when I was a kid watching a scary movie.
That'll do it.
And like it's just stuck in my mind forever.
That'll do it.
So anyways, there's a little. This happens with Taylor too, if you're wondering, where I just say something random and then we just talk about it for a second.
Look at that drop between Thursday and Friday though.
Yeah. So that is, I didn't mention rain chances next week. There's not a
Okay.
ton, but the one chance may come late Thursday into Friday.
Is that what cools it down?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll keep an eye on that for the end of next week, but obviously we're still so far out that things can change with that. But yeah, 69 degrees next Saturday. So another taste of fall. I know some apple orchards and things like that are opening up or have already opened up. Maybe next weekend could be a good one to do that because the weather actually looks pretty nice and a little bit more fall-like.
I have a cookout that day, and I think that's the last day their pool's going to be open.
Well, you know, what's funny is that last year, if you remember, fall was kind of warm
It
around
was.
here.
It really
except for
was.
once we got to Halloween and it snowed. But I went to an apple orchard last fall. It was Uncle John's, but it was on a super hot day. I think it was like 80 or something like that. Not as fun. You know, if I go to...
It's never really as fun as when it's hot.
When it's warm out, it's just like, that's not the weather it's supposed to be.
You're in a corn maze, and the corn is sweating because it's so hot.
Corn sweat.
That's why it does sweat.
See, I always say, and I think a lot of people say this too, is that they should have a podcast. If you need me to talk about something for an extended period of time, just let me know, and I can just talk and talk and talk. Whether or not it's useful knowledge, I'm not sure, but...
That should be the title of your podcast, whether or not.
Whether or not it's useful knowledge.
I like it. I
All
like the
right.
parentheses. So yeah.
Anyways, so about the weather, first alert weather day. We'll keep an eye on things for you with the severe weather chance that we have this afternoon. Not a slam dunk that we see anything here locally. I'm just keeping an eye on the SBC right now. Still no word. So what they'll do is put out what's called a mesoscale discussion, and that's kind of our indication as to what they are thinking is going to happen.
Okay.
And, you know, the Storm Prediction Center has some of the best meteorologists in the entire world working for them, right? So they are the ones that kind of coordinate watches and outlooks and things like that. So if they were thinking about issuing a watch, they typically put out a mesoscale discussion before that, saying, hey, this is the area that we might issue a watch at, and they'll give a likelihood of how, you know, likely a watch is coming. They'll have one of those, so nothing coming imminently. Not to say that they can't just put out a watch. Sometimes they do that without a mesoscale discussion. So that's what we're monitoring. So keep an eye out. I would say anywhere within the next hour or two, we'll start to see maybe something start to bubble up. And if we do see any severe weather, make sure you tune in on News 10, WILX. You can turn on our channel. You can live stream us, go to the First Alert Weather app. Just about every bit of available technology
Pretty
is
much
at your fingers.
That's been my whole job, is to make sure it's on all of these streaming platforms. It is a free app, so you don't have to pay anything for the app itself. You just download it onto your smart TV, your Amazon Fire Stick, anything like that. We also have it on YouTube. We have it on Facebook. Both of those, Facebook and YouTube, when we're streaming there, you can live chat with us, like Maribel just did on Facebook, saying thank you. And Shane, all the way in Australia, saying it's the last week of winter down there. And we also, like I said, have it on all of our social media channels. So that's YouTube, TikTok, WILX's Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah, and I just actually did a TikTok, so that will be posted on there too to kind of talk about this same kind of thing. So we have you covered. I think that's one of our greatest strengths here is that we're on so many different platforms. So wherever you are, we're going to be there with you. So we'll keep you covered throughout the rest of the evening. Do you want to show the Mackinac Bridge?
I do, just because I love the clouds, first of all. And
this is
traffic
from Mackinac City looking to the
north.
Yeah, okay.
North. Yes, this is, you can see the sign for Fort Michiganders. I can't say that word.
Michiganders.
Yeah, that one. People can't see me circling it on the screen, but right there, right above where that RV just passed by. So yeah, this is the Mackinac City side, looking kind of like northeastish towards the city of St. Ignace.
Do you want to know something?
Sure.
I am considering and may do it this year. I've always wanted to do the Mackinac Bridge Walk.
Are you?
And I will be in Higgins Lake, and it's not that, well, not that far, but
you're closer than you are when
closer
you're
than
here.
To the Mackinac Bridge. So considering doing that, I did some research about it last night. Very interesting, actually. There's a lot of fun facts with it, but whether or not I want to get up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. to drive up there.
Traffic's going to be crazy, I
Traffic's
know.
going to be a nightmare.
Well, they changed it, so this year you can start on either side, so that might alleviate some of the congestion that's always in Mackinac City, because now some people can start from St. Ignace and park over there.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And you know, they say that you can walk there and back. So you can cross the bridge and then walk back.
For free.
Yeah, it is free, and you don't even need to register.
You have to pay $4 just to drive across it.
But there are some rules, like
There
if
are.
you're not a certain, place on the bridge at a certain time, they will send you back. So if you do cross the bridge and you want to end there, then you have to find a way to get back. They don't do buses or anything.
Nope.
I think they may have used to. Did they used to do
think
that?
they used
I
to.
think that might have been a COVID change.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though.
Did you know that if you're scared to drive over the bridge, you can get a service to drive your car for you?
I did know that actually.
Yeah.
And then if the weather's bad, they do escorts across the bridge.
Yep. So I was
Which up there, I mean, it's wintertime, the weather's always bad.
I was up there a couple weeks ago and the leaves were already changing. So,
Really?
yes. It was gorgeous.
Love that part of the state.
I was actually staying in St. Ignace.
I
one of my
did that a
favorite
couple
cities.
winters ago, and that was really cool. Yeah.
And we saw the Sioux Locks up in Sault Ste. Marie. Haven't been there in years, so. Of course,
I haven't either. It's since I was a kid. It was
it
last time I was
was,
in Sault Ste. Marie,
honestly,
yeah.
my mom and I decided it was over 20 years since we had been up there, so.
I would suspect that's probably
Yeah.
that for me too.
It's changed a lot. So let us know where your favorite spot to visit Michigan is, especially this holiday weekend. It might be Spartan Stadium where they're kicking off against Florida Atlantic. You never know.
Do they get the win tonight, MSU?
I'm going to say yes, just because I know FAU is really good at basketball.
Yeah, I guess I don't know anything about them.
Football, not so much. Plus, I mean, you got a really hungry team in the Spartans with a new coach and it's a home crowd. So, yeah, I think they're going to win. I don't think it's going to be as big of a win that as Central had yesterday, but I think they'll win.
How about Michigan tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. Come on now. Get out of here.
All
Get out
right.
of here with your Halloween hating, Michigan doubting self.
Hey, I'm not doubting Michigan. You know I
Oh.
like Michigan.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Colton is going to be on Studio 10 at 3 o'clock. Are you going to be on First at 4?
Yes, I will.
Oh.
And we'll have updates with your forecast all the way through that. And then Andy will be in tonight, and he'll have you covered in the 90 and thereafter.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a safe night tonight, no matter what you are doing, and have a good holiday weekend. We will see you on Monday.